Hey everyone, welcome to another fantastic episode of Superhero Roundup live here on SourceFedNERD. For those of you listening to us on iTunes or on SoundCloud, welcome to the show, especially those of you who have not been here before. I am Matt Lieberman. Joining me as always, Mr. Sam Basher.
Quicksilver.
And Mr. DJ Wooldridge.
Hello.
Yes. If you are not following us on Twitter, you absolutely should be. Okay, my Twitter handle is @MattLieberman. That's MattLieberman.
Sam Basher at SAMBASHOR.
And DJ Wooldridge at DJ Talks Trash, which is spelled like it sounds.
Yes, it is. So today we're going to be discussing the Season 1 finale of Gotham, the latest episodes of iZombie. iZombie, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D, the first one since Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yep.
And of course, Flash and Arrow. Our question of the day, which we have every single week here on Superhero Roundup, is what did you think of the full cast photo reveal of Suicide Squad?
Yep.
You can send us your thoughts at the hashtag #SHRoundup, and be sure to tune into our Twitters every Thursday morning, where we are going to reveal what the question of the day is so that you can share your thoughts. Okay.
Yes.
Is that good
That was
for
good.
everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You covered
Those of
everything.
you who are watching this online and want to be able to download the podcast, which you all should be doing, it's going to be made available on SoundCloud and iTunes this very day. We normally tape these shows at Thursday afternoons at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, the best way to support this show, not only to hit the thumbs up on the YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, but then go back to iTunes, rate and review the show. It's quick, it's easy, it doesn't cost you a dime, and it helps attract sponsors to the show that keep it going. And that's what we all want.
Yep.
So,
Please.
What are we ever going to do if you get sick? I think we should have like a recording of you that we play.
No, I'm going to write it. I'm going to do like a transcription of it. I'll write it
he'll
down and
transcribe the
transcribe
spiel,
it.
the
And
spiel.
I'll read it real slow.
all right, good. Read it real slow. So let's talk about Gotham.
Hey, speaking of Gotham,
Yeah.
I wore my secret shirt that was the only one that was clean today
Your
that I got at
secret shame.
Comic-Con. I got a Comic-Con last year, and yeah, I will wear any free shirt that you give me.
Yeah, me too.
And I remember how excited I was for the show when I got this shirt.
No, we both were. We
both
both got
were
the
super
shirt,
stoked.
and we both got GCPD badges.
Yeah,
and
it was
I thought
really
that was
exciting.
so cool.
We
It was
felt
like a
really
little clip-on.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like, Gotham. Everyone's talking like saying good things about
Yep.
it.
It is funny thinking back to the pilot, to the premiere, and how there was one direction the show could go that wasn't very good, and there was a direction that would have been a really solid show, and it didn't
It went
go
the
that
other one.
way. There was moments where it decided to be the good show.
I felt like
briefly.
I feel like it didn't even decide to be the bad show. Like there were a couple different areas that it could have gone off to, and then it chose one, and then it was like, I'm bored. What's over here? You know what? I'm bored. What's over here?
Yeah.
Oh, we're on a weird mystery island where eyes get replaced. I guess.
I think part of it, somebody said,
No, DJ.
Steve says, no, DJ, burn that shirt.
Yeah.
I should.
We were all lied to, DJ. Says
We were,
Ashley Henry.
we were.
Burn the shirt. Burn the shirt.
I think the people that ran the show forgot to make like a good cop show first.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You could say that. I
It
have no
was-
idea what they
Yeah,
were
we
aiming
can
for.
debate
I
theories
don't know.
on how this show could have
If
been
it was
better
a
all
good
around.
cop show first, and then on top of it, a slight sprinkling of references to the world of Batman, as opposed to like using those references as like a crutch.
Right.
Like, hey, remember why you like this show? Because sometimes we'll throw a character in there that could be Scarecrow or Scarecrow's dad and behaves just like that character, even though he's not that character.
Yeah, okay, you know what'll really spice up this show? Let's throw in a 12-year-old and make him laugh a whole bunch, and everyone will think maybe he's
the
important,
Joker,
he's
and
the
then we'll
Joker.
basically say, yes, he's the Joker, but maybe not.
But maybe not.
But
Will he be back? I don't know.
I don't know. It's funny that I think the most interesting thing I've ever seen the show do is have Fish Moody, who's been gone forever, come back with that mohawk and
Yeah,
like the rivets
she
on
looks
her head
badass.
and the eye. It's like, I want to see this character as like a
She
villain
looks
for
like
the
a
whole
real
season.
Batman villain. It was really
Exactly,
cool.
but it could still work within the non-Batman universe, and you could do interesting things with her. And Jada Pinkett Smith seems to be the only one that understands what show she's on.
Yeah. It's the right kind of wackadoo crazy.
Yeah.
Versus how she was back in the club and then trying to deal with, I don't know.
Back in the club.
Back in the club.
the gang warfare stuff on this show for me was as boring as the politics and trade stuff in Star Wars Episode 1.
Yeah.
Right, like, aren't mobs supposed to be cool? Like, aren't they like,
theoretically,
man, a mob sounds so cool, like Sopranos?
I love that moment at the beginning of the episode where these guys get off a motorcycle with a rocket launcher while Falcone's looking at chickens.
Yeah,
and
the way
I was
scene...
like, this is more of what I want.
No,
It's
DJ, this is their homage to The Godfather Part 1, okay? This is epic cinema at its finest. Right?
I mean, maybe they were. I don't know, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you say at the end of the show.
Yeah,
You're like, I don't know, man. We got a season 2. Let's see what they do with it.
It'll be interesting. It does do some. This episode does do. One of the most pointless parts is where everybody. One of the most interesting that happens. Fish Mooney kills Maroney. Mm-hmm. Surprising.
Great.
As Maroney's really just devolving before our eyes and becoming a caricature of what a sexist man in the 50s would look like. Yeah. He's not even a normal sexist man from the 50s. He's a caricature of that.
Yeah.
And then kills him. Awesome. Everybody escapes and then is immediately captured after the commercial break and brought back just so they can escape again. After for some reason we weren't keeping track of Penguin, has a giant ass machine gun and is shooting everybody but the main characters. 2 riots break out. Somehow all the main characters remain unscathed.
Yes.
That's how life works, DJ.
Clearly.
If you're important, you
Gotham.
survive anything. Okay, 1,000 people keep saying Paul Dini for Gotham.
No,
Season 2.
don't put that on him.
Please don't.
Who's Paul Dini?
Paul Dini is one of the greatest comic books, just comic book writers. He created Harley Quinn for Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, he was a driving force behind Batman the Animated Series, and he's also the main writer for the first 2 Arkham games, not the Gotham Arkham Origins, and I don't know about this one.
I don't know about
Arkham
the
Origins
new one.
did pretty bad.
Yes, but the first 2 Arkham games, which were amazing and had some of the best stories in any video game, really, were written by him.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Why would it be bad if he was on the show?
For him, let him do better things.
Let's see if he's like, you know what? I don't have anything better to do. Let's go and try to save this.
I mean, he could. He's one of the few people that could. I just don't wish that on him.
Yeah, I would. I would rather let this show die. I would rather let it die a slow death.
But
well, it's still got a whole next season.
But Matt,
what?
The Bat Cave somehow was already here.
No,
what? Oh my God!
Did you guys kind of see that coming? I
of
saw.
Course,
I
watched,
what other twist could they possibly have?
This is my 3rd episode watching. I'm like, they're gonna find the freaking Bat Cave,
yeah,
and it'll already be built. With
how great
themed.
Would it be though if they went down there and it's older Batman into guys? You've really fucked up the timeline.
Yeah.
We need to go back and. It's Back to the Future meets Batman, but the DeLorean's of the Batmobile.
Yeah. See,
does this not
now,
sound awesome?
If Paul Dini wrote this show, maybe he could get away with doing that in the first episode of season 2.
And then fix everything. Commissioner Gordon should wake up from a dream like they did on Dallas. It's like, oh, it was all a dream. Season 1 was all a dream.
No, it's like, they're watching The Flash and they're like, shit, time travel seems so cool. Hold on.
That is how they seem to pick their plot lines.
Yeah.
Is Barbara not the worst character on TV?
Yeah.
She's a horrible person.
Let's read a tweet from Ben at Ben is Leet. Can we talk about how fucking stupid Barbara is? Hashtag SH Roundup.
Oh my gosh, she is awful.
The worst written, worst performed character, and the only way that they could possibly justify any of her behavior from this season was to decide at the last minute, oh no, she's crazy.
She's crazy.
I didn't watch the episode before she did murder them.
It was. We did not see who murdered them. It was implied to be the ogre. Turns out the serial killer that kidnapped her,
Peter Petrelli.
Yeah, and who brainwashed her in between commercial breaks of that episode, and
then she killed her parents,
and now is completely crazy.
Yeah,
apparently.
She killed her parents, and now she wants to kill Leslie Tompkins. Which, okay. I'm just gonna go out on a limb here, devil's advocate. Fucking Leslie Tompkins is also stupid. That is
stupid.
That is a conflict of interest.
I would say, I've said it before and I will say it again, the only thing that the writers behind the show hate more than women is lesbian women. They don't know how to write women. They don't know how to direct women. They don't know how to create interesting.
You said you like Fish Mooney though.
Yeah, I guess she's the one that transcends the rule. But even then, she spent the back half of the season gone on an island doing nothing.
On a weird island doing nothing. What was the island?
And suddenly she comes back, and within a flash forward is now BFFs with Selena, which would have been really fascinating if we'd had the whole season, because because Fish Mooney, the Jada Pinkett, her clear influence was Eartha Kitt as Catwoman from the '66 Batman.
I would
that
like
would have
to
been
talk
awesome.
about how television shows and how media works, okay, and how good storytelling is achieved. You create characters that you care about, and then you watch them interact with each other, and it's through their relationships that conflict is raised and the plot is moved forward.
But Matt, I haven't seen any of that in Gotham, and yet it is a popular show.
Is popular the right word?
I don't know.
I would say well known.
People watch it. It got a second season. Like before any other show got a second season.
It definitely got a lot of publicity.
Yeah.
Got a lot of publicity.
It got a lot of publicity.
Penguin was on the radio the other day.
The only relationship between any characters on the show that seems to exist is the one between Gordon and Bullock. But at the same time, that doesn't seem to exist either, because Bullock isn't a person, he's a prop.
Yeah, it's so haphazard depending on whether Bullock will hate or love Gordon, depending on what the
really
plot
don't.
needs.
I don't like this idea.
Wait, what's the guy's name? Robert Lowe?
Donald Lowe.
Robert Loja.
Before you say that he's awful, you need to watch Terriers and see how great Donald Lowe can be.
You can say that. You can say that. I'm watching this. It's bad. I'm watching this. It's bad. I don't like it.
Can we... You brought up. Can we move on?
Can
we move on?
Overall,
because
what do you think of the season?
We tend to like sit on the
Just
shows we
dwell
don't
on the
like.
things we don't like. I mean, yeah, we can move on. I guess just let's all try to come up with one thing we liked from the season finale of Gotham.
Just the season finale.
Just the finale.
Fish Mooney.
Fish Mooney.
Fish Mooney.
Sam.
Who's sidekick guy? Who's
Oh,
sidekick
that
guy?
was like torn between
Butch.
two
Like
of them.
crazy.
Butch. Yeah, he's crazy. Like for some reason, because he's so dumb. I love like that character, like the dumb henchman that's like.
But he wasn't dumb. I guess Penguin somehow tortured. Whatever.
I don't know what happened to
Whatever.
him, but I kind of I liked him because I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
And like that's it. And Selena. Actually, no. I still just like Alfred. Alfred's probably my favorite
Alfred
character.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like his voice.
Even though he's way more tolerant of Bruce's intuition than anybody has any right to do.
Right. I mean, as much as it was like a holy Batcave's Batman.
Yeah.
There's the Batcave. The moment when David Mizzou's young Bruce is like, wait a minute, there's something here in the room.
Yeah, how did they not discover that shittily disguised secret after they pull every fucking book off the shelf?
Yeah.
What adult man would let it just like this child's like, I'm going to tear apart this entire library. An entire library, not a bookshelf.
That child pays his salary.
It's true.
No,
That's
it doesn't.
technically
Yes, he
true.
does.
A trust fund.
That's
not
technically
him.
true. Matt, say something positive so we can move on.
yeah.
to
Oh, I
things
just
you like.
that was my positive thing.
Well,
that I like that. Or fine. Selena's haircut.
Yeah,
I like Selena's haircut after she joined up with Fish.
great.
Yep.
Cool.
you brought up watching characters you like, having them interact, and having that drive story, which I feel is a perfect segue to iZombie.
Yes.
Which I like every even the villains when they show up, I get cool.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to see him. I'm
We're like,
excited
what
to
are
see
they
what
gonna
happens.
do?
What's gonna happen
Yeah.
now?
Yeah. This week's episode, we got a lot of world building and season arc building. I would say the crime of the week was kind of weak sauce.
They usually are. The crime of the week has never been like, whoa, crazy.
Well, I like
think
the
it was
one-
better when it was connected, like her friend that
Her friend
died.
was
That
cool.
was cool.
Yeah.
And then the pregnant woman, I thought they got a lot out
That
of that.
one I liked a lot.
Yeah. This
last
one
week.
was kind of absurd, and I mean, her having the brain of a sex therapist was interesting, brought up some interesting stuff, but the crime itself was like, meh.
Right.
Yeah.
You fed the microphone into the
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense. But then again, we live in a
Don't
world of
touch it.
zombies. I'm not going to
guys,
pick.
this
not gonna
week
touch my mic.
we learned that you should not plug a microphone into a backup generator because it's shocking what happens.
Somebody in the comments said Nigma was great. No, that was so...
Nigma
No, he
didn't make
wouldn't.
any
Guess what?
sense.
Guess what? Oh, I guess he should be Riddler now. And then he has a crazy scene, which would have been cool if we'd set that up, like more than just he murdered somebody last week, and now he's really insane.
Yeah,
anyway,
and also he's kind of just like dumb that whatever.
Anyway,
Whatever,
not to get sidetracked again. I'm sorry. It was just we didn't mention Nigma. I didn't like it. Anyway, iZombie.
Yeah.
Great episode.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, we have to be reaching the end of the season, right?
Yeah, actually, next week it should be the last 2 episodes.
But it was
back
renewed.
to back?
I think so.
Okay.
Looking at the schedule, 2 episodes air on the same
So
day.
this show was in fact renewed for a second season this week, which is great, and we're very, very excited about seeing the second season. Another show that got a second season this week, Powers for PlayStation.
Maybe it'll be better.
Maybe it'll be better.
There's more hope to be had for Powers than Gotham.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
Because at least there's things that excite us about Powers.
Yes.
No, but
other
like,
than the production design.
But there's
Yeah.
been so much hate behind Gotham.
Could
Like
you
they're gonna try to
imagine-
improve it, but Powers got so much praise.
Did it? I guess maybe.
Yeah. It
got
imagine
faint praise.
imagine if Powers had Gotham's budget. Imagine if any of the shows
God.
we review had Gotham's budget.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what's the saddest thing about Gotham? And I know we're not
Sorry,
talking about Gotham anymore.
it's the finale.
I know.
We get to come back to it.
The thing that makes me real sad is that Ben Edlund, the creator of The Tick, is a writer on Gotham, and even he can't save, and his sense of humor is so fucked up and twisted.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
We wish it was better.
Yeah. Things to love in this week's iZombie. The zombie rat that killed all the other rats.
Yes.
Cool.
I loved Ravi was great this week trying to get make moves on Peyton.
I liked that Ravi showed some up until the end showed some realistic. That rat could cause a pandemic. Like, it's terrifying. It legitimately is terrifying.
Like Black Plague.
Like
Yeah.
at the end of the last episode, I was like, oh, the rat is. I mean, whatever. And then his reaction, you realize, oh, that could be really bad.
Yeah.
Like, really bad.
I like the established that zombies can't eat zombie brains.
And I exactly, and then I
Yeah.
also you mentioned Peyton, and I thought last week I talked about how Major's arc is how you do a love interest, Flash, cough cough. But you also pointed out that it was a guy, and I realized how there aren't very Peyton and Liv have very few interactions. Most of the main cast is men, even though our lead's a female. So I'd like to see more Liv and Peyton interacting, especially now that it looks like Peyton's being brought into the main mix. But how great was Peyton this episode?
Oh,
I
yeah,
liked her.
she kicked so much ass at
Yeah.
the top of the episode.
Yeah.
And she actually said yes to Ravi.
Yeah.
Good for nerds.
Yes.
whoa.
I loved Ravi calling out Liv. Like, listen, I'm a doctor. I have a British accent, and my parents think I hung the moon.
Yeah.
And it was really like affecting.
Yeah, it was like, just because I'm not some pretty boy with a fucking motorcycle, I'm a handsome dude with a
Yep.
lot of qualifications.
Yep.
How dare you, like, shame me out of dating your friend?
Yep.
She's not too pretty for me.
Yep.
She's just cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
What
cool.
has that guy done anything before? Because he's so great. He's got to get.
I don't know
some
if he's
kind
ever
of
done
offer.
anything
Honestly,
here.
I don't think I've seen any of these cast members before,
Yeah.
and they are all fantastic.
lead
and the
girl-
reporter's real great.
Rose McIver I've seen somewhere.
Yeah, she was in Once Upon a Time. She was
Oh.
Tinkerbell.
Oh, okay.
I want
talk
to
about that
read
show.
a tweet from CJ Donegan at Golf CJD. What if Liv and Ravi take over the Candyman zombies meal on wheels, but with morgue bodies?
I mean, they could.
That could be. I mean, they could. That's really complicated.
Yeah, but I don't know if I like any of his clientele. They all seem pretty evil.
Yeah, I don't think they would want to help out with that business,
Yeah.
and I don't think they'd want to take it. They're not interested in making money.
To be fair, they are addicts technically. They are in a tough situation because they only need one food source to survive, and he is the one source of that food source that they know of.
Yeah. So by episode's end, after we solve the mystery and Liz Lemon gets taken down for killing Jenna Maroney,
Yes.
which is actually the reference they make in the
This
show.
they make, yep.
Yeah. So after that, Ravi gets bitten on the hand by the zombie rat.
Yep, because he's being a big old dum-dum by playing with it while he's on the phone.
Talking to Peyton, idiot.
Yeah.
Major, who tells Liv what happened, tells her about the human brain, is like, I just want you need to be the one person who believes me. Please believe me. And she backs away from it. She doesn't admit that she thinks he's telling the
Because he's
truth.
trying to help him out because that's apparently the best way to help somebody is by keeping secrets from them.
Flash.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So by the episode's end, we see Major buying a gun out of some dude's
You
trunk.
think he's going to die? I'm really worried
I
Major's
really
gonna
hope
die.
that he doesn't. I would much rather he be a zombie.
Yeah. Well,
That would make more sense.
They could do the classic thing where he gets shot and she, I guess, leaks blood on him to become a zombie so he doesn't die.
Something like that. But she doesn't have enough blood.
And also the other reveal, for one, I guess zombies can have sex, which really doesn't make sense if you can think about
If you could think about penises.
Well, and you think about the fact that they've already admitted that their blood flow is slower
less.
than humans.
Hey.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Hey.
No, they have magic boners.
But,
they have boner
Magic
magic.
zombie
not
boners.
Lincoln. Who's the
Lowell.
Lowell is getting his brains from evil zombie guy.
Yes.
And evil zombie guy. And, what's his name?
Blaine.
Blaine and Liv are about ready to
Yeah.
meet in the elevator at the end.
Yeah.
Or the dead.
So the Dan Rudd says Major is dead.
I don't know.
I don't think
Major was on One Tree Hill, according to Tim Dyer. Tim Dyer, whatever.
Tim Dyer.
Anyway, so a lot happens in the last minute. I feel like the last minute kind of elevates the rest of the episode, which is kind of just an okay episode for iZombie.
Yeah.
Because I feel like iZombie's been getting progressively better as it goes on. And this episode, it was fine.
It was fine, but it set up some key elements that are really going to rocket us into the last two episodes.
The show's so goddamn fun.
Yeah, it's
so fun.
Fun and breezy.
Doing such a good job pulling its cast together. And it's funny. It's almost like an anti-Gotham, where I didn't have that much interest going into it. But now I'm actually more excited to watch it than some of our other shows because I know it's going to be enjoyable.
I know I'm going to have a good time every week.
Yeah.
I also just shout out to the scene between Lowell and Liv when she comes in with the crazy sex expert brain, and she's like, "What are we doing?" She's spinning out of control.
Yeah.
I love that he's able to tell that it's a brain and not her.
Their relationship is so cool. I'm interested to see where it goes.
The last
like,
week with the gay brain was
super. Yeah.
And you were saying,
and he's like, wait, your relationship and sex expert? Cut to smash. All right. Anyway. Sage Holst says also the brain Liv and he shared was Jerome's brain.
That reveal.
That was awesome.
That was
that was insane.
Punch. So much happens in that last minute that really just twists your stomach in knots.
That's even better than Blaine coming to the apartment building for me.
It was Jerome's brain.
Jerome's brain.
She has the flashback to Jerome being kidnapped by Blaine. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So scary.
Yeah.
Cool.
What a good. I'm wondering. They didn't. I don't think in the announcement they revealed if it's going to be another 12-episode season, but I kind of hope so because they've done such a good job with
a tight.
I don't need
storyline.
22 episodes. I think they kind of mess it up a little bit because the show's a little rocky, just a little bit.
And you think maybe if it was more.
Rhombosaurus says iZombie has 5 episodes left.
What?
That is not according to the schedule I saw, but maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, everyone's saying it's got 5 episodes left.
Cool. Not according to the other stuff, but I mean,
Maybe
sure,
we missed
great.
it. I don't
All
know.
right.
All right, let's move on
to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, which solid episode this week.
Not as good as last week.
Not as good as last week.
That's been not. I would say not as good as the last couple weeks, but I mean that's kind of be expected because last week's was great. Kind of disappointed with the Age of Ultron tie-in.
Yeah, it was kind of weak sauce.
Yeah, because the one direct tie-in doesn't make any sense within the context of just the show. And the only reference to Ultron was about ready to blow up the planet, and they just look at a newsfeed like, oh man, that
There's
sucked.
Sokovia, yeah.
And then we all moved on with our lives.
Yeah. Sokovia was real bad, said Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it.
Gonzalez.
Well, no, but remember Mockingbird when she was telling what's-his-face that he needed the spotter was like, oh yeah, that happened. At the TV, and which was just a sign blowing up.
Yeah, I think I'd be a little more scared if like robots tried to, decimate the whole planet.
Could we have not? Maybe like one breaks into their little hideout.
One of the Ultrons.
One of the Ultrons, and you have to deal with a whole team trying to take down one. Like
that would be really freaking cool. I always go back to this episode because it to me is one of the best episodes of TV that I've ever seen. Is that first Dalek episode in season 1 of Doctor Who from 2005.
The one Dalek.
You just need one.
Yeah.
Just one is scary. Movie Alien. You just need one.
Yeah.
Is scary. You just need one Ultron against normal people who aren't as good as Hawkeye or Black Widow at killing things.
Yep.
Then
Also,
you've got a serious episode.
I would have liked to see Quake kind of like mess with him. Or like one of them like shake him apart or something. That would have been cool.
That would have been
real cool.
Well, yeah, or if like she's the one that ends up saving the day, and they help realize that they need powers people.
That would have been cool.
That would have been great, and it would have humanized Simmons a bit instead of making her crazy. I'm tired of it. How should they have referenced Age of Ultron, says Umar Soares. I mean, we just kind of said it would be cool if anything that was happening this week was affected by what was going on there.
It was a little. They kind of trusted Coulson a little bit because it wasn't something like he wasn't gathering powers.
And then trusted him less.
And they also used that Stark as a reference of like, that was a guy that nobody questioned or checked in on, and look at what he did. Which, by the way, that movie never really engaged with the fact that Stark is almost directly responsible to the deaths of thousands of people.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, really quick, though.
and then in Civil War, he's going to be the one siding with the government, and they're going to be cool having him on board.
Yeah, anyway.
That's Age of Ultron. We talked about that already.
Yeah, we already had. Check out last week's episode.
Yeah, I did really like that line though, where they say that was somebody who no one ever checked in on, and he nearly destroyed the entire planet.
And I like Coulson's compromise of saying that we should have.
He's smart.
Yeah, Nick Fury had a council of people that were always telling him he was wrong, even though he was right, and they were a huge pain of his ass and were basically useless. I should also have that.
Yeah, I should also have a hindrance.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I liked it. Although, it was a very mature thing for them to do. It was a very mature thing,
and it also later on it proves to be kind of smart because it turns out Gonzalez is not a huge asshole, even though we suspect that he is.
What is Sky's mom's name? I'm blanking.
Jia-Ying?
Yeah, Jia-Ying.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, how did you guys feel about that twist? Because I feel like it should have been like, and before it was like, okay.
Actually, I think all she could have said was, I don't want to index my people, and I think he would have understood. I think he would have understood because one of your people, the brand new one, can make earthquakes that could take down an entire continent. So, like, maybe I wouldn't mess with them. I'll just leave them alone.
The most interesting thing that came out of
that would have happened.
No, right. I do like the kind of the setup where you think it's going to go wrong because it's Gonzalez and Reina, and then Reina gets taken off the table, and then Gonzalez is actually doing a nice gesture, and you're like, oh, okay. And then it turns out the mom who you thought was cool is not cool.
I was really surprised. I had my jaw dropped.
But I think my favorite thing that came out of that was, I don't know about you guys, I completely assumed Reina was pulling shit when she was like, no, Jia-Ying can't go. And it's like, oh, she was right. It's Jia-Ying's fault.
For the first time ever, Reina isn't selfish.
Yeah.
Even though... Well,
how great would it be if she was lying? It was like, well, I guess
Sean
ball that one.
Butler says Jia-Ying was just not going to wait around for another Holocaust.
Whoa, that's strong.
Well, I mean, that's what they implied.
It wouldn't be necessarily the Holocaust, but it would be a genocide.
Yeah. Or a hypothetical one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is interesting because I think this is the only, I think the whole indexing of supers is not going to happen in, I think they basically said that Civil War is going to be more of a oversight council because secret identities mean nothing in the Marvel universe.
Maybe Spider-Man, but he's not in there yet.
Yeah. So this is the closest we get to kind of that plot line.
Nerd Rambles at Nerd Rambling on Twitter says iZombie does have 5 episodes left. He pulled up the Wikipedia page.
I also pulled up the Wikipedia page, and last time I checked, it said it ended on May 12th.
It ends on June 9th.
Well, there you go. I guess it was updated.
Yep. Yep. The last episode is entitled Blaine's World.
Nice.
2 things really quick. Mac is leaving, which really sucks because I really like Mac a lot. Apparently, hopefully, if something happens.
I think that's a.
I mean, like, because he's so good, and, like, I feel like maybe he figured out that S.H.I.E.L.D's not that great overall, and, like, maybe he's leaving. But also, the rock melty thing that reforms itself, really cool.
Really cool. Reminded me a lot of Gravitron?
Graviton.
Which we've just completely forgotten exists, and I guess doesn't matter to the show anymore.
It doesn't matter.
He's somewhere.
They decided, you know what, gang? This villain would be too expensive for us to ever bring back. Let's just assume it never happened. He died in Hydra whatever.
I believe he'll come back once.
He'll come back at one point.
At one point.
Are we good with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, what did you guys think overall?
Fine.
I thought it was fine. Simmons still problematic. I like the twist with Melinda, Agent 33, and Ward.
That made no sense to me. How is Mockingbird on a plane with who she thinks is May, even though we know May's on a plane with the other people? How are they not communicating? Like, how did we think May? How is everybody okay that May was in 2 places at once?
I didn't like that. I didn't like how she kind of just fell for that. Like, at first I was
the fight was
confused.
Cool.
The fight was cool.
And they revealed that Ward was betraying them was cool, but I don't understand how. And it confused me that it's like, oh, May tricked them, and then May somewhere else is like, how?
I like this too because it makes Gemma's like actions like they're actually bad now. She doesn't just get away from murdering a person. like she has consequences.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Here's a devil's advocate explanation, I guess, of why that is. I think that Bobby knew the whole time.
Yeah.
And she was trying to figure out what 33's endgame was.
But again, how does everybody else on the jet, like, where do they think Bobby is?
Yeah, why is she on a
different
separate one?
jet?
Piloted by with one other person that is also May.
You said it like a guilty kid when you said that.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how that worked.
It's important to...
Guys, I just remembered what happened on Flash this week. Can we get to Flash?
Let's go to Flash.
Let's go to Flash.
And
Grodd
Sam has a point will come
lives.
up in this episode, but
Oh,
let's talk
boy.
about the episode.
I don't, for a long-term comic fan is me, I got to watch a live-action TV show with Gorilla fucking Grodd
How
on it.
great
Yeah,
was
a
that? Do you feel good?
telepathic talking gorilla.
And it wasn't.
And he was great.
So it was really well, like taking that horror angle with Grodd. Like one of my favorite scenes is when they're going into the sewer and you see the scrawling on the wall, and it starts as just Grodd's name, and then it becomes math, and like, what is this? It's him getting smarter.
That sounds
Yeah,
so great.
so
no.
cool,
If
so
they set him up,
effective.
if they set him up for a whole season villain, that's great.
I
because
think
he's getting smarter and smarter.
Yeah, I'm wondering if now because I'm assuming they're going to resolve the Reverse Flash situation for the most part this season. I'd love to see Grodd as the season-long bad guy. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I think that for a TV budget, they rendered him really well.
Yes, and it
man.
looked like they used both practical effects and CGI, and they went between the two because obviously the old footage was practical effects and stuff like that. And I thought that was really smart of them.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Let's see what people are saying in the comments. The scene between Grodd and Joe was effing terrifying.
It was, and I like that he didn't speak. It was all
Yeah, it was all in his
telepathic,
head.
and it was intimidating.
What a great! It's Powers. No, it's not Powers Booth. I'm sorry, Clancy Brown. I'm sorry. What a great use of him that they had him doing the Grodd voice as him. It's like that's a great use of that actor and his range of abilities.
Yeah.
that was, and it was creepy.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I'm of the opinion that Clancy Brown should be hired to do all the things
All the things.
because he's my
All the
favorite.
voices.
Can I
all
point
the
out that I was
things.
both right and wrong that they did use Clancy Brown, but I thought it was going to be as an excuse to not show a lot of Grodd, but they still showed a lot of Grodd.
You won. Both win-win.
It was a win-win because I
Yeah.
really liked, and I also liked, even though Sam has a point about this, I liked the final confrontation with Barry. I love that they were building up the mile-long punch, however,
And he caught
and
it.
he caught it, and
That
threw,
was
and
like,
then
no!
threw him through a wall.
Yeah. All right.
I loved it.
Real quick, we're gonna move on to my favorite segment. Sam has a point.
Sam has a point.
All right. So the episode was really good. Iris was awesome in this episode.
Yeah,
Like,
we're going to talk about Iris next.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
because that was pretty much what the episode was about,
with-
actually.
Yeah, but when we got to the climax, he's dodging a train. That's really cool that he's able to get out of like the psychic link, whatever.
Yeah.
And he tricks Grodd into jumping in front of a train that comes less than a minute after the first one. Trains don't work like that. Sam has a point.
Sam has a point.
Sam, I like
Trains
that Sam
don't
has a
work
point
like
as your
that.
version of dropping the mic.
But
Sam has a point.
Someone tried to tweet at me. They're like, "No, trains come fast in Europe," and I was like,
Yeah, but they're not
Oh,
in
no,
Europe.
that's
This
not
is-
how- that doesn't
it's-
mean
it's
anything.
Central City.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the Iris plot line?
I
I
thought
loved it, and it made her important.
I thought it was the best use of her ever.
Yes,
And
agreed.
she started
Matt
the
has something
episode.
in his
Oh,
eyes.
you're gonna- are
oh,
you
is he going to
sneeze?
sneeze?
Trying not to sneeze.
Yeah, hey, hold your nose.
Hold on. D-Melly, and everyone is talking about, D-Mel writes, please talk about Iris just walking into Star Labs whenever she needs, whenever,
they
without
need-
anyone knowing.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, bring Deco on as security for that
Yeah,
facility because they
seriously.
need it.
Yeah,
They
no,
need
there was
security.
Ivan Fong. He wrote earlier that Star Labs needs to lock their goddamn doors.
They need a
Lock
scene
one
where like a
door.
delivery man just walks in. He's even in the wrong place. Like he doesn't know where he is. He's like,
Yeah.
I should be here. I'm sorry.
But it's like they towed the line between this being really great and then also being really lame. Like
True.
where she comes in and she marches in with a full head of steam and she's like, something Barry, and I'm like, and then I'm like, or should I say the Flash? And she's like, or should I say the Flash? And I wanted
Okay.
to slap the writers across the face. You
Yeah.
didn't need that.
Yeah.
It was obvious from her tone
Yeah.
and from how she carried herself that she already knew about it, and he was in the damn suit.
She didn't even need to say anything. All she needed to do was walk in. Eyes did it.
That would have been great. She walks in.
And like
It's
and
like on Last Man on
Cisco-
Earth, silent treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke Skywalker at Luke Skywalker on Twitter says, "Can we discuss how terribly the entire Iris figures out Flash's identity arc ended? Like, really? He wasn't happy
talking-
with the very ending of it."
Oh, where she's like talking him out of it. That was fine.
I liked it. Oh no, it's focused on something.
It worked.
It's psychic.
It was still a little bit saccharine, I thought, but the idea of it was okay.
Yeah,
I
ideas
thought it was a
of it are
little.
okay.
I thought it was a little heavy. I wish they, instead of making more on her, like Barry kind of expressing her that you were always there, that emotional. I would have rather seen her be more of the detective useful. Like when they're like, "How do you find a gorilla?" She's like, I might be able to help you
I'm
for
a reporter.
once. And she had information about, like, that is the Iris I want to see more of. Not the, like, I'm beneficial because you love me. I want to see I'm beneficial because I'm an investigative reporter.
Yeah.
My
I did
favorite
love that monologue, though. I thought it was really beautifully written and delivered.
My favorite thing, though, was, like, it's like open up, like, a Christmas present with horrible things inside. She's like, what, this is happening? What, this person knew about it? Wait, what? Everybody knows? Wait, hold on. And, like, she, like, keeps asking questions, and you're like, oh, wait, she actually is completely out of the loop on everything.
And I do like that she called her dad on, like, Dad, I'm a grown-up. I can take care of myself. You don't need to make these decisions for me, which is true.
Connor Vile in the chat writes, Iris is a metahuman. Her power is getting past security.
Also, I like the fact that nobody tried to... The closest we got was Barry being like, well, you've kept things from me too, which was a little bit of a stretch. But the fact that they all acknowledged, like, yeah, we fucked up. Like, Joe wasn't like, bro. He's like, you're right. I messed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was cool. I can't. I'm torn between whether this episode or the last episode was the best of the show so far.
Come on! You're forgetting the time travel one. The
time travel one and the first Reverse Flash one.
I don't know. For me, it's these past two, and I love. I don't know about you guys. I really like evil Harrison Wells.
Yes.
Tom Cavanaugh's evil. Like that scene where he comes down and Eddie's trying to taunt him, and he's like, "Oh, really? Because where I come from, I'm the smartest man alive. Just guess how smart I am here." It's like.
Oh yeah, and when he completely is like, look, dude, everyone in my family is known for doing something great, except you. You're like the one crappy person in our entire family.
You're the one who's forgotten, and I was like,
you're boring.
No, and I love that. I hope they use that as motivation. Like Eddie's like, I'm not insignificant. Like, I mean, imagine if you got that. If you got like someone came back and was like, your siblings are great, your kids are great. You though, you're not so great.
Yeah, I'd be
you're
devastated.
Pretty insignificant.
I don't think I'd be able to recover. He takes the ring. It's like, I guess we can give this back to Grandma Agnes, and just throws it away.
What a cock! Sorry, he's a cock.
He's a huge cock. Farija at Frija on Twitter writes, okay, but what's happening with Eddie now? He's just down there underneath. So Wells has been hiding inside of the Super Collider.
Great idea.
The entire time.
Yep. One place that won't look for him.
Yep.
And it's also the one place with the least amount of security.
Yep. And he has created some kind of blue vial filled with technology that will get him some.
I love describing things like that. They fill it with technology as some future stuff.
Future stuff in a blue liquid. Okay.
I'm assuming since apparently the amount of speed you get is tied to the time travel, that the final fight between Reverse Flash and Flash will be in the Collider.
Yeah.
Which will be
that's
really
a great
cool.
idea. I love that. Daily Dill writes, do you think Eddie could become Booster
No.
Gold? No, because Booster Gold is from the future and is an entirely different character.
I am wondering, we'll talk about more in this news. They have confirmed Legends of Tomorrow, and they've given us a plot synopsis, and it involves Rip Hunter coming through time, which I'm hoping ties...
He's coming through time?
Yeah. Which I hope ties to Eobard Thawne, but I'm also wondering, with the inclusion of Rip Hunter, if they're not allowed to use Booster Gold. Because there was
one
talk,
time traveler.
There was
universe?
talk at a time of Sci-Fi getting a Booster Gold series. So I'm wondering if they're sitting on that treatment or whatever, and I'm wondering if Ted Kord's a part of that, which is also why they weren't allowed to use him for Arrow. Because why use Rip Hunter when you have Booster Gold?
Really quick, there was a deleted scene from this episode.
There
did
was.
You watch it?
Yeah.
It was finally they explained like how they feed them because it was Caitlin and with Barry and they're talking about like Harrison Wells.
They treat them super well.
They do way too well.
Whatever food they want.
Yeah. What kind of prison is this?
And also
with
that food you're getting, let's resolve where they're shitting because they're getting some very rich meals. I also
exercise.
It's one of those things where you're like, you want to know, you want something. I was just talking to one of our other editors about how, like, when I was a kid, I guess I don't really have a huge connection to Star Wars because the prequels came out at such a young age. Like, and I wanted more of when I watched the original movies, I wanted more of the Jedi stuff. And I got in the prequels and I was like, oh, I guess I didn't want this. It's like, I want to know how they feed them. And then you find out and you're like, oh, well, that's
kind of
lame. So I kind of wish I didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was just a feeding tube.
Or something.
I thought it was a pneumatic
how do you feed
tube.
Gas Guy, by the way?
No. So there's this thing on Tumblr called the Chronicles of Cisco.
I love the look you just give me. Like, don't be dumb.
Hold on, don't be.
Sam has a point.
On Tumblr, they write little like stories from the point of view from the writers. Like they put something together, and for Smoke Guy, they knock him out, and then they go and put his food in there. And they get it. With gas.
They mix him up with all the other gas.
Which actually might, if he has to mix up with other, I guess maybe that's an
Duh.
explanation.
Yeah.
Duh.
The deleted scenes, just Google it. I'm sorry, it's not on the CW site.
One last tweet, and then we're going to move on to Arrow. Nerd Rambles at Nerd Rambling writes, what do you guys think of Eobard Thawne, or what do you think he'll do with Eddie? Do you think he'll become Zoom, or do you think Wells will take his body as his own? I think that's probably the best idea, is keeping him as an insurance policy and stealing Eddie's body. That's how you have evil Eddie.
So he's his own grandpa a little bit?
So there's three options for Eddie, and they're all awful for Eddie. Mm-hmm. Either he dies, and they pull a Tommy, and it's like, oh, I thought you were going to be evil, but now you're dead, and I feel bad for you.
Yeah.
He becomes Professor Zoom or whatever, and he's evil, and you suspected that, and that's fine. But if Eobard steals his body, that's the worst, because that's awful. What happened to Harrison Wells is the worst.
No, the worst thing.
Actually, I kind of want that, because he gets the shit deal the whole time, and then he dies.
And then also when the face changer guy was Bad Eddie, that actor excelled at that. I would like to see Bad. Yeah. Evil Eddie was fun Eddie. I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Arrow.
I love this episode. This was great. I thought it was amazing. The fighting was good, and I didn't hate Laurel.
Yeah, I wouldn't say maybe it was as exciting as some of the other more recent episodes, but it was very well done. I liked the twists. I liked the fact that Oliver wasn't brainwashed. I liked that he was working with Malcolm. I like how hard it was for Malcolm to convince everyone to come on board with this thing. I liked I like the fight scene. The one thing that I'm just sort of like, oh boy, I wish this was better, was Katana's mask looked real silly.
Yeah. Out of everything, though, that's not bad.
I know. Yeah. Out of everything that could have been silly on a superhero show on television, that being the one silly thing is huge. And it's crazy because Katana's mask in Suicide Squad is like exactly the same, but doesn't look silly.
Katana looks dope in the Suicide Squad photo. But I honestly feel like Flash and Arrow did one of these numbers. Like I feel like when Flash was weaker the past couple episodes, Arrow was on point. And I feel like recently Arrow's been kind of not as strong. For me, it's interesting that I was faking the whole time, but it's a weird reveal to have when the final twist hinges on the fact that we need to believe that somehow he'll allow all his teammates to die, and it completely it's so awkward to me. Mm-hmm. Like we reveal, like he goes out of his way to say, I'm on your guy's side, but then the whole final twist is supposed to be, but he'll let him. No, there's no. I was waiting for somebody for them in that episode to show they're going to be saved, because there's no tension there. Of course he didn't let them die, because we just saw that he's on their side. Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to believe here?
They let it sit for so long. It's fun.
Yeah, but there's no way that they're killing off the majority of their cast in one.
You're forgetting, guys. Matt Perini writes, Laurel won a fight, guys.
Laurel won a couple fights.
It is funny how much she progressed between the first fight she had at the beginning of last episode to the end of that episode, where she's able to take on League of Assassins members.
Yeah.
But I'm finally after all the training she's had, she's able
from two awesome people.
Exactly.
There's enough justification that she and I love that she's also not the most amazing fighter ever. She still takes some serious licks.
Yes. Yeah, but man, that thing is actually kind of cool. I was okay with the screaming.
It's real cool, and I love the outfit.
I think everybody in that fight to take out the plane looks great. Except it bothers me. I've become increasingly bothered by when people using guns aren't using cover. They're just standing in the middle. Like it just feels weird to me. But I like Felicity's moment where she takes her broken iPad and zings it at the guy, and she thinks she's the one that took him out, and it's Merlin behind her.
That I think is the best gag they've had on Flash or Arrow. That was amazing. That was great writing.
Fuck's sake. Ray's like, oh, I've been working on something. I just had an idea. I couldn't let go.
He's not going to shrink. He's not going to shrink. He won't shrink.
Let him shrink.
He won't shrink yet. He'll shrink in Legends of Tomorrow.
He's going to shrink.
He's not Adam till he shrinks.
He's going to shrink in proportion to the ratings of Legends of Tomorrow shrinking.
Oh, come on. How cool was it when he dove through the plane?
I was kind of hoping...
you mean that great scene from Iron Man that dropped into this movie?
The exact scene from Iron Man?
I was desperately hoping, because they had that line, that his rays didn't work, he was going to think it, he's going to doop, 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 and shrink, and somehow that was going to save the day, and I would have just all over the place, and this would have been my favorite episode of the entire series ever.
I want you to dub that show and put Adam sound effects. Here he goes.
All right, Sage Holst at Sage and Bloom on Twitter says, so we all agree it wasn't the Omega and they're all asleep, right? They
it
weren't
was some
coughing
sort of
blood like the
sleeping
boy.
gas.
Ray had
Yes.
some coming out of the mouth.
Some kind of mouth.
Ray has some.
Even though we
has
know that
some
half
kind of mouth.
even though we know half those actors are going to show up in Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're talking a lot about Ferris Airways
I
and
know.
Coast City, by the way.
I would like some Green Lantern action.
Yeah,
A
it's
lot.
Jake Fit says thoughts on Roy and Thea. It was nice to see them together again.
It was nice. Apparently Roy's going to be in Legends of Tomorrow. Fantastic.
but he's not going to be Red Arrow.
I guess not, because he gave his suit to
Thea, and he said
That's
red's
kinda
more
cool.
your color.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said red's more your color.
I liked that.
I
thought
like
was
that
fun.
too, but
I'm
then
not a
like,
huge
why
fan
did
of
they-
people leaving with notes instead of talking to people.
They couldn't afford him for another day.
I
guess
wish
not.
it was a scene and they just couldn't shoot it.
But I did like their dynamic, and it was fun to see. Roy seems a lot legitimately happier now that he's dealt
Way
with whatever
happier.
guilt he had hanging over
Yeah.
him.
For some reason, not fighting crime every night made you unhappy.
That's a
Interesting.
shocker. Also, I gotta say, even though it was inevitable, like the second Maseo and Katana started fighting, I knew how it was going to end. I was still odd. Like I started tearing up when he was dying in her arms. I was like, I want to give it to the actress. I can't remember the actress's name that plays Katana, but I think she's.
Rilu Fukushima.
I think her and the guy that plays Maseo are the sole reason that worked at all. They
Yeah.
sold the
They
fuck out
sold
of
And
it.
they sell the flashbacks too.
They did.
Yeah.
For some reason, it was.
and now Rilu Fukushima is on Game of Thrones too, and
Really?
I love
But
I love
think she's
that
only
this
in that one
show.
episode, I think.
Well,
It would
I feel like she'll come
for
back.
her.
come back
though.
again.
Yeah.
Definitely
her.
good for her.
I just there's so few parts for Asian actors
Yeah.
on television and in movies,
Yeah.
and I'm just so glad that they're going to be able to get work off of this,
Yeah.
and that they got a whole season
That's cool.
playing interesting characters.
What'd you think of the flashback?
The flashback
Was the coolest for me, and they kind of explained that like, oh, they covered it up as a chemical attack.
It
or
was the
something
best
spilled.
one. I would say it's the best flashback we've had this season.
Yeah.
But overall, the flashbacks this season have been very underwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fact that there was no cure was interesting.
But again, how is that? Then of course it's not like he's going to go back and try and cure them, because obviously they're not going to die. Like again, I feel like there would have been more weight to it if we did not know yet that Oliver was still on the side of good. Although one of you mentioned it, I did like his interaction with Diggle and how Diggle provides actual stakes, because like even though you're on our side, I don't know if I can trust you anymore.
No, of course not. I wouldn't trust him. I would not trust him. If you were willing to do that to cover it up, like,
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Although I feel like it seems like the preview for the next episode, it seems like they're hitting the same beats that they've been hitting the past two episodes of like, we don't like Oliver, but we like him, but then we don't like him, but now we like him again. It's like, okay.
okay, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it does look, even though the season's been more volatile, I feel like they're laying the blocks for a more interesting fourth season.
Oh, they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Arrow writers are smart.
Yeah.
I enjoy
Next
it.
season is going to be real fun.
Doesn't it make you so excited those shows are coming back? Like out of all the other shows that got renewed that we don't like, those.
I feel
shows are coming back.
I really like the ambition of these shows. I feel like they are the truest to their inspiration of the comics and everything. I am getting a little tired of Felicity's weepy. The weepy
A little.
A little.
I'm a little nervous to see if they go full-time travel-y with the Flash, and at the end of the season they like rewrite something and it fucks with everything.
They can't. They
They can only do
it.
so much. They can do a little.
If they go back and rewrite something that affects Arrow, that will be too far.
That's the problem. You can't.
What if like he runs it through time and then Rip Hunter pops up at the end of like the finale and he says stop it, and like he pushes him back to the present and like
Cool.
just go back.
I do like that.
Yeah, with time travel powers.
Let's read
Raish is
one.
homophobic.
Let's read one more tweet.
He is.
yeah.
He's not a good dad.
Yeah, let's read one more tweet. Dragon Rider at Dragon Rider 1375. Malcolm is a coward. He could actually be a decent person if he wasn't such a big coward.
Right,
He's
there's a-
okay
there's
until
something
he's
that- there's a
facing real
reason.
danger.
I'm not
Yeah.
convinced that there's not a play there, but I do like that Malcolm could be the most complicated person on that show.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's.
I really like Malcolm's involvement in the show, and I'm glad they brought him back. I'm glad he wasn't dead at the end
I
of
like
season one.
watching him work with the team,
Yeah.
and when Laurel says, "I wouldn't have done the same for you," he's like, "I know."
No.
And he keeps going.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't want to save you
fascinating.
either.
Are we losing him at the end of the
Malcolm?
season?
I thought we were going to lose him at the end of this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, did.
I'm still every scene I'm terrified we're going to lose Diggle. I'm so terrified we're going to lose Diggle.
He's okay. He's safe.
I hope
It's
so.
okay, DJ.
I don't want
It's
them to kill
okay.
Diggle.
We
But
like him.
he needs to start wearing a mask when he's out crime fighting.
Exactly. That was a cool scene. Living
won't
back to
stop
gang
punching that
members.
dude?
Good plan. He's like, I know. Thanks, man. No, I was talking about my plan. That was, I thought that was good.
All right, it is time for the question of the day.
Question of the day.
Question of the day, which is, how do you feel about these Suicide Squad photos that were taken and shown to us over the weekend of the full Suicide
we got the full
Squad
Suicide
cast? I will say it right now, bored.
Really?
Bored by the vast majority. I do like Killer Croc. I like that it's old school prosthetics. It looks goofy, but I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
There are characters in there. I don't know who they are, and I don't know why they matter. Slipknot. Why we need to have a character, a rope expert.
It's obviously that the two guys on the end, Slipknot and El Diablo, are fodder. They're
Okay.
not
They're
going to make
both
it out
gonna
of the
die.
movie. Yeah, because it is called the Suicide Squad. You need some.
You need some dude to
lemmings
commit
in there.
suicide.
Yeah.
I really liked. I really liked. Katana looks great.
Yeah, and I didn't even know she was going to be in the movie till this cast photo.
Yeah,
and she looks amazing.
Katana looks great. Captain Boomerang looks great.
Yeah.
He looks like such a shit talker, and I'm so excited about
Yeah.
it.
No, I want him to get punched in the face.
He looks like a butthole.
Yeah.
He looks like a
But
huge
that's
butthole.
especially as fans of the Task Force episode of Justice League Unlimited. He looks like he's going to be that type of Captain Boomerang, and I'm
Yeah.
excited for that.
No, the best for me were Katana, Captain Boomerang, and Enchantress, because Enchantress
You mean
looks
Swamp Thing?
Swamp Thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Swamp Thing
No,
looks
because she
crazy.
looks like she was. I heard that she was like studying like mental illnesses and things like that, so she could bring them to the character because like making the character schizophrenic. Because I always like when things that are super powerful, like magicians or wizards or witches, are crazy too, because like it makes them even more unpredictable,
Yeah.
and that would be cool to see them fight along everybody else.
I don't know.
It could not work. Also,
Honestly, I liked the entirety of the cast photo. It got me even more excited for the movie. I didn't think there was anybody that didn't work for me.
I'm
and
not-
I was more on point with what's his face being Rick Flag.
Oh, with
Joel
he looked
Kinnaman.
cool.
Joel Kinnaman. By the way, I'm going to go predict now. I think one of the more main ones is going to have to eat it. I'm going to predict it's going to be Rick Flag, because even though traditionally he's the leader of that team, Deadshot is more easily associated with it, and Deadshot is also Will Smith.
So Deadshot, there was also another picture released that shows Deadshot in his full outfit with the mask and with the receptacle, his little Super Saiyan little
I think.
counter.
Yeah.
And Jose Luis Canales writes, once again, what the fuck is up with the Deadshot eye is on the wrong side for the way he holds his gun. I don't like it.
If you're getting butthurt about that, you need to get over it.
Yeah.
I mean, calm down. If that's your issue, calm down.
It's not the right. I don't like it.
It depends on how he uses it, for one, and also I think we can all admit that putting up a rifle scope to your eye scope doesn't make any sense and has never made sense for the character.
If you're using a gun, don't put it on your face when you shoot it. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You will really hurt yourself or kill yourself.
I know. Sam, you did a story on the Suicide Squad thing. You did not like Will Smith's costume. I think it's great because it looks like Deadshot. My only issue, and it's a real fear, is the I am the way, I am the light thing on the gun and the thing, because I have no idea what that means to the character, and it doesn't apply.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about.
In the on-set photos, he's wearing a cross, and he has shopping bags, and there's a kid by him with a big Barbie doll that looks like it could be his daughter.
Yeah.
I don't need religious family man Deadshot. But again, at the end of the day, like if you think back to the Tim Burton Batman movies, they're not necessarily great adaptations of Batman and who he is as a character, but they're good movies. As long as it's a good movie,
when it
all
comes
that
down
matters.
to it, yes. I mean, that's for everything.
And other than that, when I look at that Deadshot, it looks like Deadshot, and that, as a fan, that's cool to me. It's cool to see live action Deadshot.
I like the costume.
I even like the mask. I know you don't like the mask. The eye thing does in that shot looks like a toy. I'll give you that.
No, but if he had a metal head,
I don't think it is metal. It doesn't look metal to me.
No, not in this picture. In the comics, it's a metal head. That's a metal head.
It's not. I don't like. You're talking about New 52 Deadshot. I don't like New 52 Deadshot, and it looks gross.
I think it looks great.
All right, a tweet. Stegman Thompson at the Stegman 100 says, I gotta say, I love all the Suicide Squad members. Harley looks amazing, and so does Deadshot. Now, Harley has been a lot of people not crazy about it. I understand the take. Let me just say this.
Yeah, I don't understand. What is there to be bothered by of that, Harley? What were you expecting?
I wanted a little extra crazy.
Remember, this is not. She will have multiple costumes in this movie.
Oh, I'm sure. And she does look nuts in this thing. She looks like that girl that you see at a bar and you want to pick up because she's nuts, and you're turned on by the fact that she's nuts. And I like that take on the character.
Yeah.
I'm just like gutter slut. Harley isn't the Harley that I like. I like the costume Harley.
You mean from the animated series?
I don't like
Wait,
that.
you mean
Gutter
the Jester looking?
Slut version of Harley is the one they've been pressing hard ever since the Arkham games.
Really?
Yeah, which has always been weird to me that we've sexualized Harley because, like, Joker. Like, do you really want to go someplace Joker's already been?
Some people
Really?
do. Some people
Listen,
do.
Really?
I've heard
whoa.
someone
We
say
should
they
not-
want a threesome with the Joker.
Which,
and
by the
Harley.
way, which, by the way, that's
They look
that's not.
hey man,
let's-
I bet that
let's-
they have killer
Let's
sex.
not go there. The
And by
only
killer, I mean
the,
they open someone's throat first.
See, having Jared Leto as Joker is the only time it's made sense for a woman to go after Joker.
No, I don't think anyone would go after Heath Ledger.
No,
Yeah.
not after the. Like,
Some folks in the chat, Jordan Morrissey, James Durr, are saying they wanted more of the red and black checkered look.
Again, I think you'll get that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and also, I imagine they're looking at this movie as the Fast and Furious with superheroes.
That's a great way of
That's a
looking at it.
great way of putting it. That's actually the
Supervillain.
best
With
way it's been
supervillains.
described.
But I also
Yeah.
want to point out that this supervillain team, which there's got to be some subtext here that I don't know how the best way to get into, but this is the most diverse superhero movie team, even though they're
Ever.
villains, it's a superhero movie team we've ever had. You've
It's
got
the
a Native
one
American,
thing, yeah.
you've got a Hispanic actor, you've got an Asian actor. There's only 2 white guys on the team.
It's the one thing that DC
Pretty
has
cool.
over Marvel right now because they also have Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
And I think, again, we were talking about how Avengers Age of Ultron, we think the saving was a direct response to Man of Steel. This is why competition is a good thing because they're trying to one-up each other in positive ways, and I feel like it can only make them better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cool way of looking at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for it. Also on Suicide Squad news, we have what is a leaked, maybe real, probably not real, could be real
Yeah.
picture of Harley Quinn putting the tattoos on Joker, and there's parts of. At first, I was like, "That's dumb." There's parts of me that because I want it to be true because it shows they're not taking things too seriously, especially with Joker. Like the way people reacted to the Joker tattoo thing was like somebody released a picture of Jesus with tattoos, and it's like it's
Yeah.
Joker, calm down.
This is the same guy who, in the best Joker comic of all time, The Killing Joke, is dressed like a tourist.
Yes.
Like the dude is a twisted comedian.
Yeah.
He does anything if it makes him laugh, including kill people. So if he thought it would be funny to get
tattoos.
damaged as a tattoo on his forehead, he would do it.
In that picture we have with Harley Quinn, she's putting a giant kick me tattoo on his back, which I kind
That's
of wish that was the
great.
only
Yeah.
tattoo he had.
Yeah.
It's just a giant kick me on his back. I kind of want it to be real.
Yeah.
The way Joker's part looks drawn.
Yeah.
You guys investigated it more. If that was real, I think that's a great promotional poster.
I
think that's amazing.
agree. I don't think it is. I am now of the opinion because Matt, you were talking about like where it was coming from. I don't think it is real.
Oh.
I don't think it's real, but I do like that justification. I feel like the idea of the two of them killing people and then tattooing each other and laughing the whole night long makes sense to
You
me.
also brought up something that Harley's tattoos are for her
Oh, yeah.
to read.
They're
Like,
very cool. Yeah, no, they face her. So like she has pudding, but it's facing her like she did
so
it
she's
to
doing it
herself.
herself.
Oh,
cool is
that's
that?
great.
Yeah. Also,
It's just we're low on time. Is there any other
Well,
news
we-
you
I-
want to discuss?
Slipknot is the band. The whole
Slipknot
band's in the movie.
in the movie. Also, you guys had a report this week. Tom Hardy wants to be Punisher.
Why not?
Let him.
Which would be great. I think he's probably going to be part of the Netflix series. If I were to cast a TV Punisher, I would cast Brian Austin Green from Terminator. I think he'd do a good job. I think we got a picture of him. If we don't, look him up.
It's an interesting choice.
Also,
Terminator, the series?
the television
Yeah.
series.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, almost the entire cast of the new Avengers is being used in Captain America. It's basically Avengers 2.5.
Yeah.
It's everyone but Thor and Banner.
Pretty
is
much
in
is in
Civil
that
War.
movie. They released a premise though, and it sounds cool. Like apparently that version of the Avengers goes on a mission, and I
And
guess
they
because
fuck
there's not enough white guys on it, they fuck something up, and it puts them under the thumb of the government. Come on, it's a little bit weird that the Avengers team that like, oh no, now we need to do it is primarily made
Well,
up
they
of
need not a main Avengers team to mess up because in the comics it's those little kids, whatever.
New Warriors.
New Warriors, there you go.
But it's like really we're gonna finally inject some diversity into Avengers, and they're the ones that fuck up.
maybe they don't fuck up
Well,
that
no,
bad.
it's not. They're not fucking up because they're diverse.
But you
they're
know what I
less
mean?
trained. And Falcon's one power is that he has a jetpack.
Hey, that's
Wait,
great.
War Machine's been around more than most of the main Avengers.
Right.
Yes.
So he's had his training.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
but Scarlet
but
Witch hasn't.
Anyway, I guess that's just me. I think whatever.
Was there
Legends of Tomorrow?
Legends of Tomorrow? Oh, the tone premise
is it's apparently Rip Hunter is seeing the future. It's real bad, and so he decides to collect a team made up of heroes and villains to stop a greater threat that sounds something epic, something epic and cosmic is coming.
Brainiac? No, they wouldn't. They had Superman. Never mind.
He'd probably be in the Supergirl show. It would be great if she crosses over with that.
Oh my God.
Tomorrow.
Supergirl did get a full season order.
It's
a full
coming.
season order right off the bat.
Straight to season
I exaggerated that. Sorry, yeah, it's straight to season.
Straight to see, which they were predicting was going to happen anyway.
Right.
And again, with those creators, I'd have confidence in it too. It's probably going to be big. Also, the next Avengers film is going to be shot entirely with IMAX cameras.
With the new digital IMAX.
It's real ridiculous.
Yeah, which I'm worried for those directors because it just sounds like more and more reasons for things to get messed up.
I want pictures of the Russo brothers before, and then I want pictures after. I hope it's like the president like right before the 8 years of office. And then I want to see how much
quick
they age.
before we wrap up, Swan Benson Jr. in the chat wants to know who we think Martin Freeman is going to be playing in Civil War.
No idea. Probably a government show.
Maybe he is the parent of the kids that... Oh, wait, that's spoilers.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that.
I hope
they don't. That's too dark. That's too much.
Hey, they got Daredevil.
But it's not in the Avengers movies. That's too much, and that's way bad fucking.
Imagine if they did.
I hope not.
You guys are talking about comic spoilers that I don't know about.
That's why I stopped myself because I don't like spoilers.
Yeah.
Quick pull list.
We can't. It's a big week for indie comics at Image. They've got Black Science number 14, and they've got Saga number 28. Over at Marvel, you got Secret Wars number 2. You got Uncanny Avengers number 4. If you're following Convergence, I think I just finished reading Grant Morrison's Multiversity book, and I think that's everything Convergence wants to be, but way better, so check that out. And at IDW, they're releasing a new issue of the comic Dave, which is nearing the end of its miniseries. It's about an android after robots have taken over humanity. Humanity's been gone for centuries, and since robots don't age or die, Dave's been around since then, and he's gone on space adventures, and now he's just a stay-at-home, he's a middle-class guy, and he's bored out of his mind. And I think it's over at Monkey Brain Comics, which is an online comics, and now they're releasing issues in
stores. Physical.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I recommend checking that out. It's a series with a lot of praise.
DJ has a dream.
I do?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the pull list for this week. Go check that out.
Really? Sorry.
Oh yeah, William Hurt's coming back as General Ross for the first time since Incredible Hulk.
Especially since Hulk's not around for it.
I thought they tried to ignore that movie completely.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you, Marvel.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it.
Hey guys, that's it.
That's it. So, Sam has a point. DJ has a dream. Lieberman has a microphone, and he's gonna play us out. Folks, I want to thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Superhero Roundup Live. Watch us on YouTube, like, subscribe, share. If you're not following us on iTunes, subscribing us on iTunes, you should do it. Rate and review the show. It only helps the show. Continue to tweet at us with the hashtag SHRoundup, and stay tuned to our Twitters for the question of the day. Yes. We're here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, live on YouTube on SourceFedNERD. I'm Matt Lieberman.
I'm Sam Basher.
I'm DJ Woldridge, and I apparently have a dream.
I have a dream.
DJ has a dream. Oh,
I guess you have a point. I have a dream.
DJ has a dream. You ever remember that Billy Joel song, DJ Has a Dream?
I've never listened to Bailey Joel.
You've never listened to Bailey Joel?
Never to Bailey Joel.
Bailey Joel's a wonderful singer-songwriter. She's a young lass from Liverpool. Why are you making flash files?
Oh, my man. Hey, that's his fault. Good.